Hello and welcome to another Silver Alert from PAX Unplugged 2025. We've found ourselves a Conlin, creator and founder of Infinite Citadel, and currently working on Mork's Soul game.
Yeah. So I'm Conlin. Like you said, Infinite Citadel, one of the three co-owners. Indie TTRPG co-op. So like a worker collective, which we're trying to do some things cool there. And yeah, right now we're releasing Mörk Soul, space, faster than light, flip and burn combat, Mörk Borg hack compatible game.
Yes, we love the whole Morky Borgy community. There's so much collaboration going on. When did you guys found Infinite Citadel?
Yeah, it's kind of a hard question to answer. So in the way that many of these kinds of things do, we sort of just like fell into it. We were working on a couple different things. Matt and I, one of the other co-founders, co-owners, working on some things. We were like, well, we should just like work together on this. So then we kind of like smashed our two companies together. We were like, well, we need a new name now. So we called it Infinite Citadel. We found Andrew, the other co-owner. A little bit after that, jumped in, did some of our art and some of our other stuff. Also wrote a bunch of the games that we're releasing right now. But it's been about a year since IC has been like a thing with that name. But we've been writing games for about 3 years now.
So what are some of the other games that you worked on?
Yeah, so we have a zine for Cyborg called Temperamental Upgrades. Was supposed to have been a very small, tiny little thing. It ended up at like 87 pages.
That's not a zine.
It's not a zine. We added a bunch of really cool content. We actually pulled the vehicle combat rules from Mork Soul into Cyborg, and instead of being in space, it's in lanes on like the road, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
And then we have a game called Before the Bog God that Andrew wrote, a game called Gentle Mages that Andrew wrote, a game called Spellbook that I wrote, and Matt has a game coming out probably next year called The Beckoning Dream.
So you guys are really not busy at all?
Yeah, no, not at all. Andrew said a couple times, we dropped 4 SKUs at PAX 2025. Like we came in with 4 new games that had not been for sale before physically. So yeah, no, not busy at all. Not doing really anything.
So what was the inspiration for working on Mork Soul?
Yeah, so we're huge fans of the Borg space in general. We love the other space games in the Borg space, and we just wanted to do something that was a little bit different. At the time that we started working on it, Vast Grimm had not added their vehicle combat, their spaceship combat. Death in Space is a really, it's a board game. It's a little bit different, and they really take the route of just like, you're in a tin can in space, you probably shouldn't shoot giant hunks of lead at each other, you're gonna die. And we were like, that's fun, but like we wanted the Expanse, we wanted Firefly, we wanted that like fast-paced flip and burn, you have some shields, you're not gonna die immediately if you shoot at each other. So that was really where we started with Mork Soul. And then from there, we sort of just like built the universe and the rules behind it to kind of power that idea of like really fast space combat.
So that sounds like it sounds like a kind of a heftier Borg variant. So do you have an idea what kind of page count you're going for?
Yeah, so we are, I think right now, aiming at 170 pages. So a full book, full art. We have a Frame Zero, which is like our bare bones early ashcan edition, that is currently at 94 pages. So we printed it ourselves for PAX, which was really fun to try to staple through 94 pages of paper. But we did it. We have it here. It's for sale. We have it for I think $20. It'll also be released like the day the Kickstarter ends. Everybody who's back to the Kickstarter will get the Frame Zero immediately.
So how much, when does that Kickstarter end?
Yeah, we have, I believe, 8 days left. So we started November 1st. We funded in under an hour, which was really cool, really exciting. And we're just been kind of in the enjoying ourselves since then moment.
Any more stretch goals or anything going on?
Yeah, so we just hit one of our stretch goals like 2 days ago. Like the first day of PAX, we hit our 42K stretch goal, which was super cool. That one was a creator pay increase. It lets us pay all the people who have been helping us with this a little bit more, which is really awesome. Yeah, we're really trying to do that kind of stuff. We have some other stretch goals. We have a GM screen on our stretch goals right now if we get to a certain number. And then our like ludicrous out of there, like, if we absolutely just blow it out of the water at like 150K, we're going to do a box. So all the stuff that we have. But right now, the stretch goals we've unlocked, we have currently 4 zines, possibly a 5th zine being added, the book, character sheets, spaceship sheets, a position tracker for space combat, and then the other stuff that might be coming out in the next few stretch goals.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're going to be busy for a while. Any idea of timeline for fulfillment?
Yeah, so on the Kickstarter, our fulfillment, we're looking at like May 2027. We're really hoping to get it out sooner. That's just, we're a small team. We have 3 people.
Yeah.
Given our other timelines that we've done things with, that was like what we thought felt good. We want to get it out sooner than that, though. That's the dream. And because we know that's a long time, especially for people who are paying to like back this project, we're going to be giving out as much stuff as we can, as quickly as we can. So like I said, the Frame Zero will drop the day after the Kickstarter ends. We'll have a digital copy of that. It'll get updates as we finish the last little bit of writing, do some of that kind of stuff. And then everything else that we make, the character sheets, the skip sheets, all of that kind of stuff will come out when it's done for people to download and print themselves. And then once we ship the whole project, those will be when the fulfillment happens.
That's really good. We backed, especially me, I backed a lot of Kickstarters and started playing them in alpha stage and beta stage and on and on and on. So that's good that you're kind of feeding people and keeping them excited. Yeah. That's a good path to go, in my humble personal opinion. So one of the last things I like to ask the questions I like to ask because I'm curious. So if you could give me a little bit of flavor of what you're thinking about for space combat, just mechanics wise, if you can kind of touch on that for a little bit, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So our space combat is a pretty unique system, I think. It's not something I've seen in a lot of other TTRPGs. It's quadrant based, so not hex map based, not map based at all. You can kind of picture it as a radar. So you are playing essentially as if you were looking at the radar on your ship. Yep. And like figuring out where other ships are. So one of the things that we're really excited about is that we were able to keep the relative movement feel of the Borg games. You know, like in individual combat, oftentimes Borg games will say you can move the length of a room. There's no speed, you just move the amount that a human could move, right? And for us, we really wanted that to scale up to ship combat. So our ship combat's all relative. Everything moves around your ship instead of your ship moving on the map. And then the other big piece of that is that we have kind of a seamless transition between individual combat and ship combat, which means that your security officer can be in your cargo hold shooting the alien that has accidentally like gotten onto your ship while your pilot is punching the engines to get away from the cops that are chasing you because you have an alien on your ship, and your gunner is like shooting the asteroids that are around you.
That does feel like Firefly. I will say that sounds not the same, but at least the radar part, Edge of the Empire with Star Wars had something kind of similar, which I actually like because I bounced off pretty hard of like, I'm sorry, Starfinder, you're beautiful, but I bounced off their ship combat pretty hard. It was just not fun for me. It was like doing math. So this sounds a little bit more up my speed. So, so I think we covered quite a bit. Are there things that you want to touch on that I haven't brought up yet?
No, I don't think so. I will highlight real quickly. So one of the things we get a lot of questions about, like you asked about the page count, like that kind of stuff. I think the Borg space has a lot of books that are like content ads, but not necessarily like full books. So we've been asked that a couple times on the Kickstarter. So yeah, ours is 170 pages. Like I said, we have 8 classes, 4 optional origins, and 12 ship classes. Which all like modify what your character is. We did the math. It's like 10,000 possible combinations of like character creation. So we're really trying to build like an ecosystem for people who love space games to play the kind of like touchstones from space games that they like. So if you like Alien, you can make that character. If you like Space Cowboy Bebop, like you can make that character. Star Wars, you can make that character. We're really trying to do all of that. And that's like what I'm most excited about for the system.
It's ambitious.
It is ambitious. The good thing is it's all written. So like we have all of those classes done. We're ready to like put those out for people. And it's working. We've been running it. We ran it at Gen Con last year. We ran it at Gen Con this year, and we've been running playtests here this year. And the playtest stock is freely available to anybody. It's the one that ended in Q4 of last year. So if anybody wants to play it, it's out there. They can find it. It's on the Kickstarter.
And where can they find you on social media if you want to? If they want to give you some personal feedback.
Yeah, for sure. So we are at Infinite Citadel in most places. Sometimes it's Infinite Citadel, or you can find us on infinite-citadel.com. or morksol.com, morksol.com. We'll just take you straight to the Kickstarter, and you can leave us comments there.
Beautiful. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you got something out of this, and play more games.